the prize, I follow through. I'm unstoppable.
Welcome to Charmingly Toxic, where Prosecco meets psychology. And we're not diagnosing, but we are side-eyeing the charm, control, and emotional chaos. I'm Denise Caperso, licensed therapist and trauma specialist, here to unpack the toxic tropes from reality TV to real life with insight, humor, and zero judgment. Grab your glass and let's dive in. Okay, hello. Welcome, Catherine, to Charmingly Toxic. I'm so excited to have you as a guest today.
Thank you for having me.
So Catherine and I go back about a decade where we met at an agency we worked at together. We recently reconnected. She's also in the mental health field, so she has some similar perspectives as I do, but some different. So today we're going to tackle Welcome to Plathville. I mentioned she was going to be on this week because she has some different takes on this family cult. Where I tend to think, Kim Plath is the family cult leader and everybody falls in line. So when did you first start watching it and how did you get hooked?
So I got hooked because we were in a supervision session and someone mentioned it and it sounded like a really good time. And so I started watching it like a couple weeks ago. It hasn't even been that long, but it's addictive. So I've just kind of seen all of the seasons until the current one.
So you binged season 1 through season 6?
Yes. So season 6, I started to skip through because it just wasn't very good. I thought there was a lot of like making things happen it was just kind of boring.
Right.
So I skipped around, but up until that season, I watched every episode in like a couple of weeks. Yep.
Okay. So cheers to let's break this down. I'm drinking Prosecco this week. I don't know what you're drinking, but cheers to whatever that is. All right, coffee. Okay. So I went back and rewatched season 1, episode 1, just to refresh my brain on how it all began. And when I look back, I was like, wow, Ethan stuck out the most. And Mariah, I think those two. But Ethan really being completely clueless as to real life.
Yeah.
Kind of like this big doofus that's just has no clue about anything except mechanics.
Yeah. And he loves his cars. That's what he loves in life only. Yeah. It's so interesting because you would think that as the oldest son, and he seems to care about the siblings and he seems to have some emotional connections to the siblings, but then that's it. Like he doesn't know how to talk to anyone. He can't talk to the wife. It's just very strange. But then you wonder, like, does he care about the siblings or has he just been trained to think you care about your family, you care about your family. So therefore he is very interesting.
So production made it seem, and the editing made it seem like they really only talk to each other, the siblings. Like they're pretty secluded and out on this farm, just kind of raising themselves. Mom and dad are just like, go off and do whatever you want. Maybe a tiny bit of schooling, but I think we see in episodes following that's really not emphasized or appreciated by the parents. So I do think he did spend a lot of time in town, quote unquote, at the mechanic shop.
Yeah, but I think there was like 2 workers there. One who was like happily married, seemed like, and would give him good marriage advice. That was later on. I don't know, like maybe we saw him show up in like season 4 or something, 3. It was that guy. And then the older guy who owned the auto shop. So it's like, was he really engaging with humans his own age? Like
Right.
He just missed all of that.
And it's so clear when you're watching it, he acts like he's 12 or 13 in these scenes with his wife, which is very similar to what we see in the current season with Lydia and Zach. Acting so young, so immature. He just has this goofy grin on his face, like, everything's so exciting. Let me drink a Coke for the first time. Let me try this. And he seems really excited about it. It does not seem like Olivia's pressuring him outside of his comfort zone in any way.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way. I do think that he at first was like, it was very exciting and it was new and he like enjoyed that she pulled him out, he turned into this like grumpy old like grump once his family and him and Olivia didn't get along. But before that, he did. I mean, he got a tattoo, a matching tattoo, and like was smiling in all the videos when she would make him drink Coke. But then the moment that like the family and her didn't get along, then he was this grump because everything wasn't like going perfect. But again, it's because he had no coping skills for like how to have conversations of like, I don't like this. Like, this is not making me happy.
Yeah, I think Olivia was okay with this concept of me and Ethan against the world, and Ethan felt very unsafe in that. If you look at, you know, Olivia being his wife and having some say in what they do, and I wouldn't even say she was controlling, just really encouraging. But then he had mom on the other side really coming down so hard on them. I mean, in the first scene, she was trying to tell Ethan and Olivia they couldn't have sugar while they were married. And, she was so imposing her rules on their marriage. No wonder Olivia was like, oh, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
So I'm like, that's where I think we differ. Like, it's hard for me because I think about it in terms of like, sounds so bad, but yes, they're in a cult. Like, that is a cult family. And Olivia knew because I don't know if, and maybe you know this, but was she already apart from her family when she married Ethan? Yes, right?
I don't think so. I think her family was more liberal than his. She was certainly raised in a strict Christian home, but she had a lot more freedoms than he had.
Okay. So, like, that was confusing to me at first because I'm like, you knew marrying him that y'all had differing levels of things and that you maybe wanted to go this way. And that family is like a cult. Like, there's no way she knew that. She'd been around them since she was like a young teenager, but maybe she didn't.
I don't think so. I think he said like maybe they were kind of dating on and off for 4 years, but I think it was long distance. And I think they
Mhm.
met each other at like kind of these Bible conventions or camps or something. And the families kind of knew each other, but I don't think they were like all hanging out and friends.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Something about, to me, Olivia and the mom are very similar. And there was like a moment in one of the seasons. Now they all kind of run together because I watched them in a blur. But it wasn't, I don't think it was the first season, but there was a moment where, I don't know, like to me, it was like an aha moment of you traded one controlling, overbearing person for another controlling, overbearing person. And like, not necessarily Olivia was, I think, meaning well. Like, she wanted them to be in a good place and she wanted him to grow up and mature. And like, what wife doesn't want that? I mean, you know, what wife doesn't want that? But he went from one to another. I feel like it's the same dynamic. Like, he wanted someone to like wipe his behind and like do all the things for him. And it didn't occur to him that he like could have an opinion or did have an opinion till he had an opinion. And then he was like, oh, I don't know how to have an opinion.
I agree with that. I mean, wholeheartedly. I don't think he really had an identity other than I like cars. And so, Olivia's like, try these things, try to figure it out. And I think at a certain point he got scared and was like, no, this is too scary. I have to go back. I have to retreat back home. And it's easier just to listen to mom inside of these rules than experience all this freedom.
And if you look at the dad, so something I noticed in this last season, the dad is like now muscular and goes to the gym and is like this whole like, I don't know, trying to be like a hot rod dad. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but like season 1 through until they get divorced, the mom and the dad, like he's completely submissive to the mom. Like whatever she says, he will lay his whole life down for her. And so that was also what he saw. So, of course, Ethan probably was really confused because he's like, well, my wife says that I can't talk to you, so therefore I can't talk to you. Like, that's it.
I think he is like his dad in that he is more submissive. He wants kind of a rule book to follow. How am I supposed to show up as a husband? You really saw him from season 1 to season 7, like grow into a man body. I mean, he was a boy.
Yeah. Yeah. And even the little face, like the dimples were deep, like everything about him. He was, I mean, they got married as children. Also, I think that should be, like, illegal. I feel like you shouldn't be able to get married till your brain is fully developed after 25.
And truly, like, he was a 20-year-old man, but he was really, 13 or 14. So I do see what you're saying, how Olivia kind of pulled him down this path of let's travel, let's explore, let's think bigger.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just maybe not it was maybe, like, what she wanted to do versus, like, what had he been exposed to. Like, there's, like there you could've she could've done that in, like, increments or, like, it was like, "This is what I wanna do, so you can come with me or not, but, like, it's what I wanna do, so if you wanna be with me, like, this is what we're doing." And that's how I, like, saw it, and I just feel like if she loved him differently, which also, who knows, like, what they that's a whole different conversation, but I think, like, if you love someone and you want them to grow and, like, thrive, you don't just do what you wanna do and, like, what you think they need. Like, they have to meet you somewhere, and you have to meet them somewhere, and I don't think that was happening. She was just like, "Come on, this is where we're going."
But then you have mom on the other hand, like, if you do that, we're kicking you out of the cult and you're not going to have any contact
Yeah.
with your siblings.
Lots and lots of trauma for that guy, and he already didn't have any coping skills, poor thing.
Right. So he wasn't equipped to go out in the world and cope with family rejection. I mean, she was very clear. If you pick her, you are not talking. You're not coming over. You're going to have no relationship with your younger sisters and brother.
Yeah. You remember the part where they're like, he wants to say goodbye. Olivia's in the car. They're moving to Tampa, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe not there. They were moving. They were telling them they were moving. I think it was to Tampa. And the dad decided he got so mad and got in Ethan's face. To me, I was like, this has been like his leaders. Like his parents were his like leaders of the whole world. Like that was like his moment of I'm so mad and it was just it was so weird to watch that cuz like one that's your dad, that's the only person that like taught you about the world growing up, and instead of having words with you like, "Oh, this is like this offends me that like you don't want to come into my home or, whatever." I'm getting in your face. It was just so weird. So weird.
Yes, because it functions like a system, not like a loving family. What do you think about the oldest daughter just not being around at all for filming, like totally out of it?
Okay, so I wonder about it because sometimes they'll do like like shoot back. I don't know what
Flashbacks?
flashbacks to like the when they're in the band and stuff, and there's this other sister, and she is there, but she's not on the show at all. And also, I noticed that especially in this last season 6, they talked a lot about like they have no money. No one has money. So then I'm like, does the sister just not want to deal with y'all because y'all are doing funky stuff? Because like, how are you in season 6, but you have no money? There's no way, you know?
Right, because Kim is in charge of all the money and she's not good with money.
Mm,
So I think it was kind of similar to the Duggars where they were collecting the money, the TLC money, but not distributing it to the children or
mhm.
even the adult children for at least the first few seasons. And then I think when the kids did or do get the money, they have no idea about financial planning or how to, in this last season, you saw Micah. He's like, I got a boat, I got a truck, I got a motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, and Mariah spends them all on tattoos and like hair extensions. Like she has no idea how to do life. Poor thing. Like I feel like I also have noticed that as she like tried to have a relationship with the mom again, it's very strange because of the first 2 seasons, basically, she hated her mom, which like is not abnormal for like, a teenage girl, whatever. There's a lot of feelings there. But it does seem like very pushed. Like so I'm wondering, is it because the mom is holding all the money and so then she's dispersing it according to who is friends with her and who's like hanging out with her? Because that would make sense with the like complete 180 that Mariah did. That was bizarre. Yeah.
in the first season, she was the most rebellious, independent, like really had self-confidence, was confident in herself despite having no education. I'm just going to go out into the world. I'm going to figure it out. And now she is a shell of herself. It's like she wants to be invisible.
Yeah. And she whispers when she talks. It drives me up a freaking wall. Like,
Hmm.
what is happening, And writing down all these lyrics about it seems to be a trend that she writes songs about everyone she's mad at, which, like, I guess is not a bad thing. At least she's getting her feelings out, but like, she's not saying it to anyone. She's not communicating with people. She's just writing songs.
Right.
So I don't know.
So
I
can
feel
you imagine? So even in season 1, episode 1, parents are saying Hosanna is the best child. We couldn't ask her. She's the perfect child, they say. Then she's squished between Hosanna and Lydia. I mean, what would that be like if you're the daughter and you got these two perfect,
yeah.
submissive, I'm going to do all the chores around the house. I'm going to do all the work. I'm exactly what the Bible wants me to be. Pleasant and smiling all the time, soft voice.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you get Mariah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough in a family that's not like a cult.
Exactly.
And that family, I can't imagine it was also probably pointed out all the time. That's probably why she rebelled as badly as she did. She was probably normal in their sense. And she heard, you're not perfect like them. You're not perfect like them. And so then eventually she was like, well, fuck all of y'all.
Yeah. And she kicked her out when she was 16. You can say whatever you want. I curse all the time. Kim kicked her out when she was 16. Like, who else did she have to turn to besides Olivia and Ethan?
Yeah.
Where else is she going to go? I worry about her the most. I think
Mm.
she,
When she replaced her mom or like the love of a parent or guardian or whatever that relationship was in her life with her mom, because it was so not healthy, season 1. But whatever, that relationship, she replaced it with Olivia. And then Olivia did similar things, I think, of like, okay, well, you can try this. Like, you don't have to listen. You don't have to do that. You don't, but like, she's 16. Her brain doesn't understand. Like, she's now just, oh, well, Olivia said I can do it. So I'm going to do this. Like, there was a lot of confusion for Mariah, I think. And like, she really needed an adult to be like, okay, like, here are some options. Like, if you do this option, this might happen. If you do this option, this might happen. That's how, like, she should have been helped. But
I agree. It was like all or nothing. Kim was like no to everything. And Olivia was like, yes, do whatever you want.
yeah,
And she couldn't handle it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what child in that family could have handled it, though. That
Clearly none of them are handling it. I don't think any of them are thriving. What do you think about Micah?
I think that he has not yet found himself. I think he was very, like, sexually active for a reason. I think that I mean, he's also like a young boy, whatever, and, out in the world for the first time. But I think he just doesn't know anything about himself. And it shows, and I just feel bad for him because I don't know that in the world that he is in, he'll ever find like how his full him.
Yeah, I think he's been exposed to much more in the sexual realm than any of them.
Yeah.
But you see in this season 7, when you watch it, he gets pulled back into the family cult and he starts dating this crazy girl. I mean, I don't know.
Is it Veronica?
Yeah,
Okay.
Veronica.
They started in 6. They show her face in 6.
And did you get to meet her in 6?
Yeah. Towards the end, towards the middle end.
Did she seem normal? I didn't watch season 6.
She seems controlling. And that was the thing that I was going to make sure that I said when we were chatting was, it seems like now it's a trend, though. So then I didn't know, like, what to believe. Like, is it that Veronica's controlling, or is it that the family doesn't like anybody outside the family? Because there was a moment where he says in season 6, he said, well, or maybe it was the beginning of 7, was talking about how the family doesn't like her and she's like not supposed to come around, or that she felt like they didn't like her so she didn't want to come around, something to that effect. So now I'm like, well, now it's just a trend. Like they don't like anybody that's not in the family. I mean, they can't date each other.
Yeah, I think both are true. I don't think Kim is going to really like anybody that the boys bring home, but Veronica also is very controlling and I would say clinically, I mean, can't really diagnose her because I don't know her. She's not my
Yeah.
client, but borderline.
Mm.
Um and Micah again is like really, really passive, like Barry.
And it's weird because his personality wasn't like that until this season. I thought his personality was more like, I don't know, he seemed like he was like really getting into like the swing of like the modeling thing. Like he was out in LA, he was like making different friends that were outside of the cult. Like it seemed like he was gonna thrive. And then all of a sudden he did like a 180, which reminds me of Mariah. She did the same thing. Like seemed like she was like out and about and was gonna do her own thing, and then she does like a 180. It's like they all get pulled back to the cult, you
Right.
know?
They all get pulled back in and they're worse than they were before. They are really shells of themselves and all of their personality is sucked out of them.
Yeah. And that's a good way to say that. That's exactly what it is. 'Cause it seems like they're better, they leave, they're better. It's almost like a little, I don't know, like a pep in their
Uptick.
step. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then it just falls away and they're bland. It's really weird.
And like kind of like crawling into themselves. Well, except for Ethan, who's just so angry. He was so happy and giddy. And now he's just this.
Grump. He's a grump.
I mean, Grump is putting it lightly. I mean, I think he's mean and he's got a lot of anger in there.
I haven't seen him be mean yet. Well, he also said like mean things to Olivia, like, because he doesn't know how to communicate. He would say, like, the time that he said something like in an interview, well, when's the last time you cooked? And he said it like like mean, like, and then when they show like I think what's interesting is they do this thing where like they'll do an interview, he just spews things out the way they come out and of his brain. And then when they like recap it, he's like he explains himself in like better words. So that makes me wonder, like, is is he not able to, or he just chooses to be an ass, the first time around?
I think it's just his gut reaction. One thing you were saying before, and I haven't consistently watched all the seasons, but like you said, they kind of go out in the world and then Kim calls them back. So in this latest season, season 7, she's calling them back for Lydia's wedding and that they need to get to know Zach.
Oh my god, she gets married.
Yeah. So that is the reason, like, you need to come home and film and get to know Zach. And so mom can be in there stirring the pot. But what were the reasons before that they all came back? Like, do you remember? I mean, was it the crisis of the divorce? You need to come back.
Yeah, the divorce was one. I don't know, they were on the boat at some point. They were all gonna go to the not the funeral, but the baby's the
Oh, yeah,
she ran over,
that's right.
which is just the way she even just said it was like, I would have to be like institutionalized. Like I wouldn't have been able to have more kids after that. Like anyways, but that's a whole different thing. So there was that. And then there was like the showcase, like when they wanted to be like a family band again. And then I don't know. So it
They,
seems like there's just random moments.
yeah, where she's figuring ways to pull them back and they can't see through it.
No. Well, I mean, they're not going to. That's the thing too, is like they're all whatever age they are, like you gotta knock off like at least 5 to 7
Right.
years, right? So that's one thing. And mommy is calling us home, like we're gonna go home, and all they had was each other. They don't know anything else, even if they're in a new world. And they're like 14-year-olds instead of like 27-year-olds or whatever they are.
I think Lydia unknowingly does a lot of Kim's dirty work.
I could see that.
Right. I need you to be here to support me. This is such an important time in my life.
Mm.
I think Kim can get her to say a lot of things.
I also think Lydia is sneaky. I think we just don't see it. I think she's sneaky, but you don't see it as much because she like plays the like, I'm such a sweet angel baby girl.
What do you
But
think she's
like,
sneaky about?
so there was the time where she like wanted to make sure she saw the boyfriend,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mariah's boyfriend, which is weird. Like they're broken up. But then you have to remember like they have like very bad like social cues, and so then I was like, "Oh,
Limited friends, a limited group of people they could be friends with.
yeah, well, yeah." So I mean, okay.
Pool is small.
The pool is small, but still, like something in your gut should be like, "Oh, my sister's boyfriend off limits. We're not gonna be friends with you anymore." You know, I don't know. That seemed weird. There was like another time where like she was looking at Olivia like she could like step on her when they were, I think like she was really obsessed with Ethan for some bizarre like relate, I don't know, I guess because like they only can be each other's friends.
Mhm.
But she would always like, I feel like I started to look at her face a lot whenever Ethan and Olivia were around her, and she just didn't, was like she really disapproved of her. And I guess that doesn't make her sneaky, but she never said anything. She never said like, I don't like you. I don't like what you're doing to the family. She just would like
Yeah.
look at her crazy. I don't know.
I think because she wanted to live in this bubble that Kim created of we are all one big happy family. We're all going to always love and be kind to each other and, be supportive siblings to each other. Do not break this pink bubble that I believe in so much. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Well, it was busted. It was busted. And also, I think Kim, because we have not dug into Kim much, but I think there's things that are, I mean, obviously there are things that are unwell with her, but she, like, season one happens. She's like, looks at Barry in the interviews with like loving eyeballs. Like, she defers to him. Like, it's like, very whimsical, almost like she wants to create this fairy tale. And then season two hits and she's unhappy. She's always been unhappy. He's made her miserable. They don't talk. It's like, what? Okay, cool. And then season three, you are already dating some other guy, which like, that's fine. That's 3 years of your life. Like, sure, fine. But 27 or whatever years you've been married in this cult cuckoo land farm. And all of a sudden you're miserable and you found another lover like that. Interesting.
Well, I think Kim is always going to get what Kim wants. So I think at the beginning, she wanted this picturesque farm family. And I think she's always wanted attention. So she was selling this family band early on. And I think she knew if I pitch this show and I get on TV, I'll have access to more money and more freedom to get what I want next.
That's a good point, especially if she's like the controller of all the money. Do we think that the dad has any of the money, access to the money?
No, I think he has a salary from his real job, if he still even has it.
That is so crazy. Because
But they
like,
had that farm is 50 acres.
yeah, that's expensive. There's no, granted, I feel like, the medium income in like Valdosta, which is like 30 minutes from Cairo, is what like in 2011 was like $17,000.
You looked this up?
No, I went to school in Valdosta. I took undergrad.
You went to school there?
Yes. And so like at some point I knew that information and it has always stuck because I remember being like, holy cow, like that's like nothing, And granted, this was years ago, but
This was 2011. The median household income was
yeah,
$17,000 a year.
in that place. Yeah, in that city. And so that's not too far from Cairo. Cairo's smaller significantly than Valdosta's. You know, I don't know how they bought a 55,000 or I mean a 55 square foot acre
Acre.
building farm off of just one income living in that town unless there was money already or like she had been blogging. I don't know if you make money off of that, but
Yeah, I don't know either. I do know that in this current season, they said the divorce dragged out for 3 years because they couldn't come to a settlement. But I think it was because Kim was wanting more I don't think she wanted to equally distribute the
funds, which is wild since like you didn't. I mean, like, who knows? Maybe she came in with the money and he didn't, and that's maybe why she stayed home. Who knows? Like, who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to look up their financial status, but that is like it's also interesting because like if you want to get a divorce, you filed for a divorce and you're so sure that like he made you so miserable. I don't know. It just seems like that's a long time to hold out, I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe it's not. I've never been divorced.
I think though, like she was pretty strategic when she pitched the show because I think she was trying to pitch to TLC this how you can raise kids without technology and be one big happy family. And
Mhm.
like you said, it shifted dramatically from season 1 to season
Yeah.
2 because she's like, now I got a paycheck. Get me out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I also will say, I think raising a family with less technology is a great idea. I mean, like, we try not to have, like, my child's not in front of an iPad all day. She has limited amount of TV time. Like, those things are important. The idea of this family living on a farm, like, finding their talents, like, having less technology, the idea, I think, could be a beautiful thing. But someone has to teach children. Like, you have to actually make them go to school or send them to freaking school. Like, there's no reason that they can't go to school and find their talents and live on a farm. Like, I feel like they're so dramatic that it makes situations like that seem uncool or like ungood for families,
Well, that's the ultimate control over your kids, right? If you send them out into the world and they have no skill set and they don't even have a GED, right? They're always going to turn around and come home.
And honestly, that's abuse in itself because
Hmm.
like you not setting up your kids for success without you, that's like, what parent wants that? Like, the goal is to release them into the world.
Especially when Barry and Kim both have college degrees. So purposefully saying, we are not going to encourage you to get even a GED. In this current season, towards the end, Kim says one of her wishes, now that the farm is part of it sold off and she has some acreage, she wants, she ready for this? She wants an RV on the property that she's going to live in. And she wants Ethan and Micah to live on that property too, maybe in separate RVs, like so they could all live on this compound together.
Why? Why just them? Why specifically them? That's why. And also, you tried your hand at a boat. Like, that didn't work. Why would you be like,
That's right. She lived on a boat.
why now are you going to be on an RV? She just like does stuff.
Does this boyfriend, I don't know much about him, does he have any money? Does
The
he
one
work?
he had, well, they're not together now because in this current season, the first episode she says, we're just still friends. We don't have sex and we don't kiss. Specifically, she says that out loud and you're kind of like, okay. But so I don't know, but his house, when they've shown it, looks pretty big. So maybe
She
that's
brought
why.
him to Lydia's wedding.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they're back together.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they get back together. Maybe they're having sex and kissing again.
I don't know. She gained a tremendous amount of weight in between the seasons.
I saw she looked very different in season 7, first episode.
Do you think that's from the drinking?
Well, because she wasn't before. But she also probably wasn't doing a lot of stuff, like going out to eat, like being out in the world. I feel like when you're socializing, you just like do more, like you drink more, you eat more, like,
Right.
you're going on dates, like you're doing all of those things more. I also feel like she doesn't move a lot. She's like, every time you see her, she's sitting somewhere. I mean, I don't know her life. Like maybe she runs around all over the
Yeah,
place.
okay. Does she still have that dance studio?
And that's the other thing is like, did that ever make it? Like,
That was
did that ever
hilarious.
happen? You know?
Come on. Kim teaching ballet.
Well, and they said that she would teach them like all the genres of dance, like all their lives. But
No.
like, why wouldn't you just go to like a place?
Yeah, because she wanted to be in charge of everything.
But like, that's exhausting. Could you imagine cooking, cleaning, doing ballet classes, like all in your day and you have a span of children that are from like a baby to like 15, hell no. Like that doesn't
Well,
even sound
she
exciting.
didn't do the cooking and cleaning. She delegated that to her
The kids,
children,
kids did it.
right?
I
She didn't
mean,
do any of that.
back in the day, isn't that why they used to have all the kids so that they could help on the farm?
But I don't even know that it was a running farm.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So in the earlier seasons, Isaac was featured as they were kind of letting him do pilot simulation and stuff. As the seasons go on, does he get his pilot's license? Do they say anything else about that?
Um, I remember in like maybe season 5, 4 or 5, he starts to go to like a flight school, but they mention it like 1 or 2 times on like an episode because that's the boyfriend is from the flight school. That's how she meets him, I think.
Mariah's boyfriend?
No, the Kim's.
Kim's. Okay.
She meets him because I think he either works there or somehow she met him at flight school because it's like a thing where she's like, I need to tell Isaac. It was like a whole dramatic moment.
I don't know. If any of them could have like a normal future, it might be him if
Yeah.
he has a pilot's license.
Yeah. If he can like stay away. Cause the problem is he might get his pilot license and then like not use it and come back to Kim and like just do nothing. Who
I
knows?
don't know. And who is raising these three little girls?
The dad probably. Because honestly, like when she left, when Kim left, the dad, and maybe it's because we just didn't see him before because Kim took all the spotlight, but like it seemed like he was trying to be a dad. And maybe he had been before. I don't know. I just didn't see him. But it seemed like they were gravitating towards him because he was the only like secure adult hanging out, trying to like give them food and like do basic life things. But outside of that, the older little one, looks like she's about to be just like Mariah. I mean, it's just they're like, who knows?
Barry seems to be very soft with the kids, a lot like very gentle. So I'm really hoping he is the primary parent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, I don't even know where the little ones are living. Like if they live with him or if because they don't think they're living with Kim. So they have to be living with the dad.
I don't know. I can't wait till you watch The Wedding.
Okay. I am going to watch season 7. Don't worry. I'll probably be done in a couple days.
Yes, and then you'll have to text me because it's insane.
I can't wait. I didn't realize she was getting married. Episode 1 on season 7 is like the boyfriend. So I knew Lydia is going to show her boyfriend, but how do you get married in one season? I mean, how long are these
So
taping?
Lydia is the only one that follows this IBLP Bill Gothard philosophy of you date to marry, and the engagement period is the dating and the engagement is very, very short. And so you don't even kiss till your wedding day.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's why it's happening so fast. What is your first
Yeah.
impression of
Well,
Zach?
it doesn't actually make sense, but it makes sense for her.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like these should be like rules. Like you should have to like spend ample amount of time with someone before you get married because I feel like that would severely decrease divorce. I feel like there should be like rules around like marriage. Like you have to spend so much time with this person before you get married. You have to like look at your finances together. Like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure like we can't do that and maybe that would be starting to get on some border of like we don't want to control people too much, but like I just like people just should be more aware. I feel like it would decrease divorce.
So yes, but in this culture, like once you say yes, you're locked in for life in this particular Christian fundamentalism. But speaking of, and this is a good lead in because my next interview is going to be with my friend and we're going to talk about Love is Blind, which is very similar to what Lydia and Zach basically did, which was I like you, you like me, this is enough, this is all we need, let's get married right now. It's so not healthy in any way. I mean, I get the concept it's a game show, but that's not how to do it.
No. And like some people have stayed married. That's what's so crazy because you definitely don't expect them to. I
No.
don't, anyways. But
But truly, Catherine, The show hasn't been on that long. So, okay, so they've stayed married for what, 5 years, 6 years? Has even any of them gotten to the 7-year mark?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. I think you're right. I didn't realize it hadn't been on that long, but yeah, that's probably about right. And that first couple from that first season just had a baby. So I don't think they've been married more than 7 years, though.
Yeah, a lot of them have babies and they're in the beginnings, but that doesn't mean they're gonna stay married or this was the right one, by any means.
Well, have fun with that
Yes,
one.
I'm
I'm gonna
so excited to recap that tomorrow, or maybe it might be part 2 of this episode, we'll see. But, thanks for coming on. I'd love to have you
Yeah,
back to talk about Love is
yes.
Blind when you're all caught up.
I will get all caught up so I can come back. This is so fun.
Is there any other shows that you're looking forward to or that you wanna see?
Oh man, I've kind of gotten out of the reality game here lately. I need to get back in. So whatever you watch and you think it's awesome, send it my way. Usually I ask my work buddies to give me the reality, what's good in the world. But I've taken a little break, but now I'm coming back. I'm coming back to life.
Okay. One last question. Who do you think is the most toxic person on Plathville?
So if you would have asked me like season 1 through 3, I probably would have said Olivia. Because I don't like the whole, like, breaking up a whole family, and I really saw it that way up until about season 4. And then I kind of shifted a little and was like, "Ooh, they're all kind of crazy." But I think now probably Kim, just because, like, she's got, like, weird conniving, like, pull you back in ways that, like, are scary.
Yeah. Scary is the word. Scary is the word. All right. Well, I'll see you next time. Hopefully it's sooner than later.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Charmingly Toxic with me, your host, Denise Capurso. Be sure to like, subscribe, and pass on to your fellow reality TV junkies. You can connect with me on Instagram at Denise_support coach and on Facebook at Denise Capurso Counseling and Coaching. This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. While I am a licensed therapist, I'm not diagnosing anyone for therapeutic purposes, and these are not my clients. Expect sarcasm, snark, and a few clinical insights woven in. I talk about toxic relationships, power dynamics, and emotional safety, but this is not therapy, treatment, or a substitute for professional care. If you're looking for support, please consult a qualified mental health provider. If you're here for validation, insight, and a little side eye, welcome.